Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Create Brevity. This is your host, eDirector. And for this week's episode, I want to talk about why sometimes doing nothing can feel like the most difficult thing on earth. So before we begin, just want to remind you guys that I do have an amazing blog with more manifesting tips and techniques. And I also offer one-on-one coaching on my website, www.createbrevity.com. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that doing nothing part. A lot of times, when we talk about manifesting, people they get to the part where they're, releasing the resistance. And they're kind of like, that's it, I just release resistance. And for a lot of people, releasing resistance can feel like a full-time job, especially if they have a lot of negative beliefs, especially if they have a lot of sort of old stories going on about why things don't work out or why they can't have something. So for a lot of people, that's enough. That's plenty. But for some other people, that releasing resistance phase can just feel like waiting. They feel like they've done everything, they've released, and now they're just waiting for something to happen. And, that can get to you. That can make you feel crazy sometimes. Like, shouldn't I be going after the things that I want? I'm not doing anything. And I'm going to give you guys kind of a breakdown of that. I think a lot of that comes from the fact that we live in an era of kind of like a hustle mentality way of thinking, where it's very, if you want something, grind 24/7, 365, always work towards it. And a lot of times what people aren't understanding is that you working the absolute hardest and the most in your 3D is not the thing that's actually producing the results. If it makes you feel better, okay, you can. But a lot of people, they feel burned out after doing all of that, and they feel more despair and more sadness because they're doing all of these things, but they still feel like they're not getting anything. And what I'm here to tell you is, when you feel like you have to do something, when it just feels like you can feel your heart pounding in your ears. For me, I get like this too. Okay, I'm not immune to feeling like I need to, grind it out. I feel like, I'm not putting the work in. I've been there. I remember when I was first really getting into manifesting consciously. I'd always been manifesting, as we all have been our whole lives, unconsciously. But when I was really trying to focus on very specific things, and when I was first learning about everything, it felt icky. I would wake up, hopeful and expectant, and it wouldn't be there. And I would be upset, and I would get triggered, and I would blame myself. I would say, I'm not concentrating hard enough. I'm not doing enough. I need to do more. So what did I do? I listened to more people talking about manifesting. I read more books, I felt like I needed more information. If I could just get the right information, if I could just put the pieces together from the right person, I was going to get it. And that was what was keeping it apart. But really, looking back on that, now that I understand conscious manifesting better, now that I also help people, it's like I just want to go back in time to that younger version of myself, and I just want to give her a hug. Because as I want to give all of you a hug who are listening to this, because I know what it feels like, and genuinely know, if I close my eyes right now, I can feel it pounding in my ears. Right? I can feel what it felt like to be in that frenetic, very anxious state of mind, scared, doubtful, but still clinging, like having a death grip, on the hope. Okay? But the thing is, that state of mind I was in, full of anxiety and fear, and those beliefs I was piling on top of myself, if I could just get the right thing, if I could just hear one more thing, if I could just learn one more technique. And that was what was manifesting. We talk about this a lot on this podcast, but we always talk about how you manifest what you are, not what you want. And what I kept manifesting was that desire, that anxiety. I kept manifesting, my 3D kept showing me who I was in that moment, which is someone who was very much lost and confused and wanted more information. So just kept throwing information my way. I was manifesting exactly who I was in that moment. I was basically, and this is something that we all have to come to terms with. We cause our 3D reality to be what it is. We make it look like what it is. And I was in such a state of basically living the belief that if I just had a little bit more, if I get a little bit more, okay, that's what I kept manifesting. I kept manifesting more doubt and then more information to feed that doubt. Oh, I'm doing it wrong. That's what it was. Let me try something else, until I finally accepted. And I really, really, this is very important. I finally accepted that manifesting is easy. I paused at the end of that so you guys could get a little bit of, take a little bit of that moment to absorb that. We're taught that the things that we want are difficult and hard, and you have to fight for them and hustle and grind and push yourself. But can you have the courage, right? This is a word that we've discussed in the last couple of podcasts. Can you have the courage to believe something that is different than everybody else? That is different, okay? Can you free yourself from that hustle mentality? And that's not saying that you don't need to take direct action when you need to take it, or that you won't be led to doing the things that make you happy. No, absolutely not. Of course, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that weird feeling that you get like, you know what? I don't want this to go left, so let me go ahead and build all these barricades around it. Let me have all these insurance plans and backup plans and come up with backup plans for the backup plans. That feeling that makes you want to do that, that drive, I want you to question that for a minute. If that's what you're feeling right now as you're listening to this, or that's kind of your default state of mind, I want you to think about why that is. And usually when people dig a little bit, they usually will find a couple of different, just true, I don't even want to call them negative beliefs, just true limiting beliefs that they have about themselves. And for me, once I really did the work and I asked myself, why do I need to do this? Why do I have all these contingency plans? Why do I keep forcing myself to learn all this information over and over again? When at the end of the day, really, myself, other coaches, life coaches, manifesting coaches, they are regurgitating, the same information to a certain extent, right? It's coming from similar sources. Okay, we might have different backgrounds. You might prefer one person's delivery or personality or style, who you connect to, right? Who you're attracted to, who you kind of fall in line with. That's a whole different topic, right? But at the end of the day, the core things, talking about scripting, talking about affirmations, that information is pretty similar, right? So why was I, when I was first starting out, forcing myself to do that? Constantly repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And it's because I was scared. I was terrified that I was going to miss something, some key detail about conscious manifesting, about prayer, right? That was going to stop me from getting what I really, really wanted. Okay? That I was going to be in a situation where I was going to miss out, where I was going to get left behind, right? And I realized that is a fundamental fear that I have to deal with. It doesn't have anything to do with conscious manifestation. It has nothing to do with the right way to affirm or script or visualize, okay? That's coming from me, okay? I cannot, for some reason, accept the fact that manifesting is easy for me. That there is magic stardust in me, the same as it is in everyone else, the same as it is in you. Excuse me for stumbling. I'm getting kind of emotional talking about this. We all have it within us to get everything that we want, okay? But we place all these weird restrictions and limitations, and some of that comes from that fear place that I had. Some of it comes from just years of being alive and being disappointed, and you get inured to that disappointment, and you don't want to let go of it because it keeps you safe, because anticipating disappointment keeps you from being disappointed, right? If you say to yourself, I know it's not going to work out, and then when it doesn't work out, see, I was right, right? Because you remember, years ago, maybe even months ago for some of you guys, when you had a different mindset, when you were like, no, I'm going to get it. Some of you might have been disappointed, okay? And it hurt really badly, and you never want to go back to that place again. So what does your ego do? What does your mind do? Every single time something gets close to that, something you really, really want, you want to hope for, okay, that's going to make you happy. You're like, nope, I'm not going to get it. I don't have high expectations for this, because guess what? I've been hurt before. I'm not doing it again. My brain's not going there. That right there is something that you have to work on. You have to allow yourself to believe it again, whatever it takes. That's the thing. That's where you need to spend the time and kind of iron that out again, okay? Until it's smooth sailing again, okay? Until you don't wince every time you say them to yourself. Because truth be told, what you're really doing with affirming and visualizing and scripting is you're just reprogramming yourself. You're rewiring it, okay? And for most people, it takes more than a second to do that, okay? One thing that I always like to say is it did not take a day for you to become this way. Probably won't take a day for you to get back to that, right? To that state where things are open to you. And that's just because of the fact that you're human. You're a human being, right? Things have to sink in. And that sink in time is really different for everyone, okay? And it's going to look different too. Some people, and I have truly seen it, they can absorb it, okay? They already have kind of a frequency or setting, right? Their default setting is already close enough, okay? And they can get it. And some people, they really have to sit there. They have to kind of like hit the wall a little bit more before it comes to them. But what I'm telling you is just keep going for it, okay? Keep going for it. Because you already know what it feels like to not get what you want, okay? To not have the specific things, the promotion, the person, the university acceptance letter, okay? You already know what that feels like, okay? So you can keep going how you're going, okay? You can keep doing what you're doing, okay? Right? Wearing your body down, tearing your mind up, okay? Emotionally spiraling left and right, getting triggered by everything and everyone in your environment, okay? Crying, that general feeling of unease and anxiety, okay? Thinking that you're not good enough. You can do it that way. You've already done it. It's not getting you what you want, otherwise you wouldn't be listening to this podcast, right? Or you can have courage in yourself. You can believe in yourself, okay? At first, it's going to feel weird, okay? You're going to feel delusional. Some people say that they feel delusional, okay? But at the end of the day, okay, what have you got to lose, right? You don't have anything to lose. Have a little courage. Have a little faith in yourself. Have faith in the process, okay? Practice manifesting things, okay? Try doing something small, okay? Not because that's all you can do, okay? Don't put that limiting belief on yourself, but just for some people, they like to go in steps. They like to do little things here and again, just so they can get that validation. There's nothing wrong with that. Go for it, okay? And sometimes if you feel like I'm just hitting my head against the wall, ask yourself why you're feeling that way and get to the root of it. Is it because, I don't know, maybe you're in a victim mentality? That's what it was for me every time. And now that I've truly let go, I can see exactly. And I can hear myself kind of trying to slip into it sometimes, even still to this day. And that's when I kind of have to slap my hand a little bit and kind of go, you know what? You're not a victim. You make choices, okay? And all this that's happening right now, it's just a manifestation, okay, of your previous self-concept, okay? And if I manifested it in, I can manifest it out. And always have that mentality, okay? And pretty soon, okay, if not instantly, some of you guys, it's instant, awesome, welcome, when you can get to that point where you just know that it's done, that it's yours, that you're going to get it. I don't care what anyone says, okay? I don't care what my neighbor down the street, okay, who's also very unhappy, told me, okay? Don't care. I'm going to have what I want. I'm going to get what I want. Just like that. It's done. When you can get into that mindset, every single time you try to slide out of it, you're going to recognize the signs and you're going to be able to slide right back to where you need to be. Okay? And you're also going to understand that everything around you, okay, they're just reflecting you. If someone says something nasty to you, okay, about something that you believe in, that you have a dream about, ask yourself, is that reflecting me in some way? Do I have something where I have all these doubts? Okay, for some people, it's inner arguments that they have with themselves, right? Where they're literally arguing against themselves, right? Am I doing that? Okay, maybe I should cut that out because I see right here, right now, I see this person. They're almost going word for word what I said. Okay, manifested it. Be proud of yourself in a way. That's a manifestation too. It might not be exactly what you wanted, but it is who you are in that moment. And that's what's popping out for you. Okay? You should be gratified by that and thankful, because if it's that easy for you to get whatever negative consequence it is, it's going to be that easy for you to get those positive circumstances, those positive consequences. It's going to be that easy for you to get exactly what you want. Okay? If it's 1, 2, 3, okay, this boom circumstance I don't want, then it's going to be 1, 2, 3 circumstance I do. Circumstance that's favorable to me, okay? Because that was who I was. This is who I am right now in this state, okay? I know that I'm creating all this, okay? So that means I can create it to be exactly how I want it to be. And if you have a hard time believing that, ask yourself why. Really go into your brain, your feelings, your emotions, and your heart, and see why it's so hard for you to believe this. Why is it so easy for you to believe something so negative about yourself? Why is it easy for you to believe that guy down the street, that woman down the street, you don't even really like, who's deeply unhappy, but if they say something to you, it sticks in your brain for 2 years, okay, rambling around, rattling around, hitting everything, triggering you left and right. Why is that so easy for you to believe, okay? But me, on this podcast, telling you can have whatever you want, I just can't. I can't accept it, okay? These are the questions that you need to have with yourself, okay? Don't worry about the 3D. It will change, okay? Worry about you, okay? What am I thinking? What is my appetite these days, right? And when I say appetite, I mean, what am I absorbing, right? What am I sussing out in terms of reading material, in terms of music, in terms of movies, TV shows? Like, what is resonating with me, okay? And kind of start from there and start picking that apart, right? If you have the time, okay, to sit there, and marinate in all the terrible things, give yourself a little bit more time to marinate in the good things. Start reversing some of those habits, okay? And start, like I said, practice. This is all practice, okay? Practice, see what you can get. See who you can be if you change a little bit, okay? Not outside stuff, okay? Inside things, inside conversations, inside arguments, inside beliefs, okay? And I promise you'll start seeing a lot more of that reflected outside. All right, guys, I hope this helps. Like I said, I completely understand why sometimes it feels like sitting with yourself and doing nothing. It feels like you're working opposite to what you need, but you're really not. Getting completely right with the things that you want to achieve and do in your own head, that's everything, okay? All right. Love and light, as always. I really hope that this helps, okay? And like I said, we do offer one-on-one coaching, and I do offer an amazing blog on my website at createbrevity.com. Thank you, and have a great day.